because there are days where you're just like, I just can't. I can't. And then there's the beauty of having then either your coach and or the community that he can reach out to. Because acting it's tough because you're putting so much, it's your soul, everything is in there.
Yeah.
And then somebody outside maybe goes like, oh, that's not good. And you're just like,
Yeah.
okay. But that's one human being's opinion.
Good morning, Eva. It's so great to meet you here on Zoom.
Hey, good morning, and thank you.
It's a great pleasure, and I must say, I just recently said to somebody, I've spoken to people all over the world, but only one person from Iceland, and that was Wolfgang Ashkenazi, the pianist. And not long after I said that, I came across you, and you're also from Iceland. So
Yeah,
how wonderful is
lucky
that?
me.
So my second person from Iceland.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
It's nice, nice.
So tell me, what brings a girl from Iceland to Vienna?
Okay, to Vienna, it's kind of an interesting story because I love skiing. I love the mountains. And then I end up in Vienna. Where there are no mountains to ski, not really. But I came here as an au pair. And because I loved so much skiing, I knew if then Austria, I would love to, because I was twice on a skiing trip. I went twice on a skiing trip with my grandparents in Austria. And so I knew if I go somewhere as au pair, I want to go to Austria. I want to ski. And I ended up with a very, very lovely family in Vienna.
Amazing. But now Iceland, you grew up there, and what was life like for you there? Did you do art or acting, because you're an actress?
I am, yes, I am. No, that's an interesting thing. I mean, it was paradise because I was free. I could do what I wanted. We didn't have to worry about crime or stuff like that. It was a very, very, it's like La La Land in that sense. But I did not have any exposure to art really, as in galleries or going to theaters or stuff like that. What I had is my mom is an artist. Like she has always been crafting with her hands and stuff like that. And so I did have that, but she didn't do that when I was younger. She started allowing herself to do that when I was then, in my, I would say 20s or 18 or something. That's when when I really experienced her doing art. Before that, I don't remember her doing that much. It was more, she was very young, a young mom. It was more about surviving, making sure that we just, could live and had a home and stuff. And she did it well, and also with my dad then.
And it's also being a mom. It's a full-time job almost. So I can understand that the focus could be on other things rather than spending time creating and doing your own thing. So what exactly did she do in creative sense? Did she paint or you just say
she's done a lot. She's worked with wool. She's painted. So, and now she works with, it's like, I don't know the name of it, papier-mâché. So she makes.
Yeah.
You know what it is? I'm not sure. So she makes this beautiful. I will have to show you afterwards. You can maybe cut it in. And I have one. I have it here, and they are so fun. They're like these magical beings. Like it's a lot of fun. Yeah, having them around. So I'll have to get it after.
Yeah, okay. I know. I would love to see it. Yeah, absolutely. So now tell your story. You came then as an au pair, and did you always want to do acting?
So what I remember is even as a child, we were at home and I was with my cousin and the cousins, and we were like putting up this play in the living room for all the grown-ups. But I was very vulnerable as a kid. And so I had this feeling that I had this negative feedback from my mom, which I'd never know if it really was that. It's just something in my child's mind was like, I felt like she was embarrassed. And so I stopped. I didn't do anything anymore. I was like, mm-mm. So I didn't want to show myself, or rather than I kind of disappeared in the back more. And what I did, and that's what I've been doing always, like I loved supporting others and lifting others up. And but myself, I kind of forgot. I was like, no, no, it's okay. I'm just gonna. So it is interesting that it kind of, and I think why I think it was my perspective of like, it wasn't what my mom really, I think, did or said or anything, but it was just me being very insecure. Is because when I then finally said to her years later, I'm like, you know what I'm going to do, mom, now? And she looked at me and she's like, and I said, well, it's crazy. She's like, are you talking about acting? And I was like,
Really?
how
Okay,
does she
good
know that?
spin.
Yeah. And I was so surprised. I was like, how can she know that I'm talking about that? So I don't think she ever was deliberately in the way. I don't even think, maybe she was just reacting when we were playing. She was just reacting to what we were doing. And that's what acting is. That's what we
Yeah.
want. Now I
Mm.
understand it. But at that time, I was 7 and I was just too young to understand it. So the reactions I was getting, I took it not in a good way.
Mm.
So I paused for a long time and didn't even think of it and didn't even dare. And then, yeah, then finally, I think I would say now 10 years ago, I decided, I was like, you know what? I don't want to regret my life. I don't want to,
Mm.
I don't know, I'm going to turn 150. I'm going to be so long here. But like sitting, at home and like, I don't know, my grandpa's now 93 and my grandma like 93 and going like, why didn't I go for it? Why didn't I try? Why?
Mm.
So yeah, that's what I did. So 10 years ago, I started like going to acting schools, figuring out like, do I want to do this? And the whole time, this fear,
Really?
this fear of being seen, this fear of not being good enough, this fear of being a fraud. I think that has been my, I don't know, biggest accomplishment now is that I'm finally where I'm like, everyone, we should all be seen. We're all good enough. We're all magical. Like, but that's been a very, very interesting journey for me and not easy. It's not easy. I've had a lot of times where I was like, why am I doing this? Like,
Really? But
why?
yeah, I can understand that because I think the older, sometimes when you're young, you just do things and you don't think about it and you just get on with it. But the older you get, the more reserved you get and the more you think about, well, is this worth it, or should I, or am I good enough, or so we get less daring, I think, when we get older. So for you already just to pursue it and say, hey, I'm going to do it, that's already such a great and brave thing to do.
And I think it's interesting you say that because for me, it was exactly the opposite.
Mm.
I had it when I was younger.
Oh,
I
I
had
see.
this fear when I was younger. I had this like just do not be too much. Like I had the feeling I have always a lot of energy. I have energy for like 10 people. So, and I think I do remember people going like, just calm down a little bit. And at
Oh,
one
yeah,
point
yeah.
you like, so you do that. And I did it, I don't know. So for me, it's exactly the opposite. It's like young, vulnerable, like this flower that just is so afraid that I'm just gonna break. I'm not gonna, I'm gonna end up alone or something like that. And then now coming into my, I don't know, just being a woman and being proud of it and growing older and in sense of I've just educated myself so much now and really worked on on my inner life. Like that has been my focus now since I started with the acting. So thanks to the acting, which I allowed myself to do when I found out, I got the diagnosis that I had an curable disease, eye disease.
Oh,
And that
wow.
kind of like scattered, that like broke everything. Like that was me sitting there and I was just like, uh, uh, I don't know what to do
Now or
with it.
never.
It's like, I don't know what to do with this. And I was, obviously it took me time and to get energy again and go like, okay, now, exactly, now or never.
Mm.
So it was for me exactly the opposite. It was young and just not feeling I had the support or allowing myself to take the support, ask for it. I think that is the most thing. To now, like, and then slowly getting older and just going like, girl, like anything is possible. Like, go
Amazing.
for it.
Mm.
Go for it. So yeah.
So you would say that acting, so when you studied acting, it's almost as if you then came out of your shell. So it gave you a bit more permission to think, so, okay, but I can do it.
Yes. So acting for me has healed me in so many ways and on so many levels and still does.
Mm.
Because it's interesting every time I have another, character or something I'm looking at, even if it's just in the acting community I'm in where we're training and I train every week. Like I make sure that because this is like my instrument. So I
Oh, yeah.
can't just go like I studied for 3 years and then I do it every week. I'm like in the gym. And even there, it's always new things that I'm working on and levels. And so acting has been, has
And
just
now,
saved me in many ways. Yeah.
and in Austria, so you studied in Austria, but was it the language not a barrier for you? Because, or do you speak fluent German?
So I speak fluent German. Languages come easy to me. So
Mm.
I'm very lucky there. But my journey, I have worked more with international, like Ivana Chubbuck in LA. I was there in the school.
Mm.
Um, Also, I do then also a lot of work online too.
Mm.
So that's kind of how I have been working, is that or now my trainer that I have at Davenport is Tias, the International Acting Studio. Amazing. Shout out to him. He's an amazing man. He himself is from the States, moved to Serbia, is now also in Budapest. And that's where I'm going like once a month and also online working with him.
Amazing.
And so very, very, I've always looked like, I love the growth and the movement.
Mm.
And that's what I look for in acting too. Also when I'm training.
Mm. And to get into because this is also always the thing. So you can study anything and you can get all the skills and have the talent, but you have to get out there and get yourself known about. And so was that difficult for you?
Yes. And
Really?
that's also, yes, obviously, because
Mm.
there came this, this imposter syndrome where you're like,
Mm.
who am I? I'm old, I'm not old enough, or I'm too old, or all these things come into place. And that was a tough one. So now I coach actors myself, and that's something
Really?
I take immediately into it. I'm like, okay, and we're going to start with the marketing immediately,
Mm.
as in that they on their own like allow themselves to go like, okay, who am I? Who do I want to be? Because what we actors so many times forget, or I did, it was for me that I was just trying to please like people. And that's what I've been doing all my life. It's like, I want to please everyone. But when acting, this is my art. And if I start doing that, you just get lost in the crowd. That's what you do. So I think one of my friends, I said I was going to go to LA again for schooling and Chubbuck. I was going to go there. And she was like, okay, girl, and then you're going to go and do auditions, like go to auditions. And I'm like, I can't. And I was like, okay, why not? And that's kind of what I started doing. It's like, even not being prepared for it, being so scared that I was like, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna
Really,
die, I think.
I can imagine. Yeah.
Still doing it, just
Mm,
taking the steps. And what has helped me there a lot is that I started horse riding. It's now almost 2.5, 3 years ago.
mm.
And that horses, oh my God, I was so scared. And I could,
Really.
because I had fallen off a horse when I was a young child. So I had this fear in my body. And then I was able to overcome it, which I didn't think was possible because it was so deeply in my system. It was just, and when I overcame that, I realized I was like, girl, you can do anything. Like you
Yeah.
can do anything.
And
If this is
yeah.
possible. And then this last summer, we have to think about where we are now. The horse that I'm riding broke my nose,
Oh
unfortunately.
no.
And that was not very pleasant. But
Mm,
even after that, I was still able to go to the horse and just go
mm.
like, "This wasn't your fault," which it wasn't. I mean, he did kick me in the face, but it was not on purpose. He was trying to. He wanted to let
Oh,
another
okay.
horse. He's a stallion. He wanted to like show the other horse like, I'm big.
Mm,
So
mm.
he's a Lipizzaner, so he can kick with the
Oh,
front
okay.
legs.
Mm.
And I was standing beside him, and he went like this, but the knee went out and went in my face, and I just
Oh
like,
no. Okay, so at least you were not on the horse and fell off again.
no, I
No,
didn't fall
no.
off or anything. But
Yeah.
I've done that. I fell off even
Oh,
when I was,
really?
yeah.
Mm.
And I just shaking stood up. I have she's a strict teacher, but really good. And she was like, when I fell off, she was like, okay, stand up, go
Mm.
back on the horse and gallop again. And I'm like, and she's like, now.
Amazing.
And
But
because of
this is
that,
yeah, but
yeah,
this is facing the fear, you know? This is
yes,
head on
yes,
facing, physically
yes,
facing the fear. Yeah.
yes. And
Mm.
that's what it is. So that's why I say when I work with actors, I want them, it's like it's for me the whole package, because that is something that is missing when we are taught acting, when we're in acting school, when we're the packaging, the business side is missing. And also your part in it, like not just like, oh, you tell me what I am, you tell me who, or you know what I
Oh,
mean, and
yeah.
function,
Mm.
but like, who am I? Who do I want to be? What do I want to do? You know? And that's, yeah, I just think that's really important. So I'm getting better at it.
Really? But no, it's so interesting that you say that and that you're so open about that, because I think this is sometimes this is an aspect that I think even when you go into an acting career or when you go studying something or music, and many musicians say the same thing, what do I do to get invited back to do a concert? You know, what do I have to do, or what do I have to be, or and it's like and I think it's almost like sometimes we don't feel good enough. You know, you feel I still have to do this, or I still have to study this, or I still have to do this. And sometimes it's that feeling that you think you're not yet good enough, but that you actually are for specific things.
Yes. And also I think for women, it's more that we tend to be like, it has to be 100%. And if it's
Oh
not
yeah.
100%, I won't go out
Yeah.
there and da, da, da. But the thing is, you can never get to 100% if you don't start. So you're
Yeah.
just stuck in this loop. And I was stuck in it for some years. I was like, okay, I'm not yet there. I'm not that this. You know what I mean? And then I just got stuck there. And I was like, wait a minute. I did do steps. I'm not, being fair. I did always head on, go like I went to LA and I got a, cast in the feature film that I had the leading role in and stuff like that. But even there, after I shot that film, I didn't dare market it.
Really?
I didn't dare. I was like, I'm just gonna allow. And that's where I say, like, it is sexy to market. Like, because the
Mm.
thing is, if you don't do that, people don't know you're out there. They don't know you exist. So maybe they were looking for you or waiting for you, but because you never went out there, you were never out there, they won't know of you. But there's something, and that's interesting. Then you go out there like, oh, you're the one I've been waiting for. You're the one that I've been looking for.
Amazing.
That's the beauty of it. So yes, it is this head-on, allowing yourself. I think it's the combination of, yes, training, always as an artist. It doesn't matter if you're a dancer, pianist, or actor, whatever, train. Be in training. Like that is like, the bodybuilders, they don't just go, once a month or something. They're there every week. Yes, do that. But also at the same time, I'm just going to put it out there. Marketing can be sexy and fun. And let's just market, have fun.
I love how you say that. Yeah.
Yes. and then combine these two. And that's what I'm working on now, is that I realize I'm like, yes, let's combine that and see. And then these beautiful collaborations can start. And you will meet amazing souls that you can work with.
But it is daunting for an actor, I think, or for everybody to go out there. I mean, even if you go for a job interview, that already in itself is daunting. But as an actor, because you are, I think, really more scrutinized, because it's a personal thing when you sit there. So I can imagine that must be so daunting. But having that confidence to think, okay, so if it's going to be me, it's going to be me.
And that's where I think it's so important you get help. Like I did. I made sure that I was looking for something, some communities, finding like Lucy Lennox. She's casting director, amazing woman, and she's created the Actors Home, for example. Like find a community that helps you, as Tia's that I mentioned before, that's where you support each other, where you're not alone, or have private coaching one-on-one, like how I work with my like actors, where they just have this, how to say, like you just have someone that kind of like holds it a little bit for you. And just a little bit guides you, but in a very gentle way. Like it's not telling you what to do, never ever. Like that is because then you just fall again into this trap of like, functioning. We don't want that.
Yeah.
But, someone that just like a little bit leeching, like can assist you in, or support you when you don't have the strength. Because there are days where you just like, I just can't. I can't. And then there's the beauty of having then either your coach and or the community that he can reach out to. Because acting it's tough, because you're putting so much, it's your soul, everything is in there.
Yeah.
And then somebody outside maybe goes like, oh, that's not good. And you're just like, okay. But that's one human being's opinion. And also the auditions that artists have, or particularly actors, like it was good for me to what I do then. Love YouTube, I have to say. I listen to a lot of interviews from others that are further than me, that have, they're now a household name or something, to just, as you are doing now, thank you so much, this is beautiful, just allowing others to hear, like, it's normal to get a no, like 90% of the time.
Yeah.
And it still doesn't mean you're not good enough. It doesn't mean this is not for you. It's just how the business is. And but yes, it's good to have, as I said, have a coach, have a community of other actors that are going through the same thing as you, that to just guide you, like not be alone. This is too hard to be alone in this, I have to say.
Yes. And, I've also, by speaking to many different forms of art, people were doing different forms of art, I also realized when you, as an artist, when it's yourself, like when you are the artwork or the art, it's different than somebody sculpting or painting, because that artwork is loose from them, so they don't always have to see the reaction if somebody looks at their artwork. But for you as an actress or a musician, it's direct. It's directly towards you. So I think that makes it also that anxiousness, you know, when you are in a situation where you have to audition, or where somebody gives you critique or something, that it's more daunting in that way.
Yeah, yeah. And that's why you're not alone. Just make sure you have your community. Make sure you have your coach. Make sure you have someone that understands what you're going through. Because it's also with your family, like if they're not actors or artists and they haven't gone through, they can't understand it. I couldn't have understood it before. You don't. And that's okay. But then not to expect of them to understand it and to be the ones that, you know, are the support you need. No, make sure you have someone that understands it, that is the best thing, going through it themselves. That is the best, because then you just, community is something we need. It's something we have all needed.
Absolutely.
And it's healthy and it's just good for your soul.
Yeah. But now you said you went to an LA, and do you think this is the route? I mean, you know, you have to go there? Is that the place where you have to be seen and or work towards going there?
No.
Okay.
No, I think today the whole thing has changed, and depends on where you are. Obviously, if you are in the States and you have the possibility to go to New York and LA, yes. But if you're a European actor, there's a lot of good things now being shot here in Europe. That has changed. The whole industry has changed. So I don't think for success you have to be in LA or you have to be in New York. I don't think so. I think you can also create that where you are because of the internet. We're very lucky. You can put your work out there and people everywhere can see it then if you constantly put it out there. Also, as I said, these productions that are Netflix, Amazon, Apple, like Hulu, all of these, they are coming to Europe and shooting here. So that's a beautiful thing for us now. And also what I've heard now is, I just listened to it, is that also the casting has changed. Before it was like this very stereotype thing. We don't want it anymore, thank God. Like everyone's like, no. Like this is not like, okay, you look like the housewife, you're the housewife. Like we want, if a housewife, we want it to be like, I don't know, perky and fun, and like she has to be like a character. So everything is now this individual sparkling character, like how to say it, like be yourself. You being yourself is like your plus now, thank God. But it's not like it was before.
Yeah, you're saying that. And just recently I spoke to an actor, Martin Kluger, and he said the same thing. And he said also that because he's a German actor in South Africa, and he's now part of a Netflix series that's been shot there in Afrikaans for all the languages. And but he's saying the same thing also. He used to be casted as a German, because he's got a German accent, as a German person, or even a Russian person, or a character. And now it's like the accent doesn't even matter anymore, So how wonderful is that? Because that gives everybody the even playground.
That is the beauty. It's beautiful. And even Lucy Lennox, because I just had, there was yesterday, we're in the actor's home. And she was talking about this. Now she is, she's a casting director. She's been doing this for years. And one of the actresses said, oh, should my show reel be in Spanish? Because I can also speak Spanish. Should I? And she was like, no, don't do that. Like, you don't need that anymore. The thing is, today, even if somebody sees something in me that fits this character, they even go like, you know what? And now we want you just to learn Spanish just for this role. it's what they do. And that's the beauty. Before that would have not been possible. They would have been like, no, you're not a native. No, that's not the case anymore. You just learn as you're learning your lines, as you're then embodying everything, you embody the language for that character. And isn't that fun? That is amazing. I was like, when I heard you say that, when I heard you say that yesterday, I was like, nice.
Yeah, because it breaks this also, it brings opportunities, and it shows people the possibilities, because I think if you are stuck in this idea, well, it doesn't matter if I study acting, or if I'm an actress, if I can't go to Los Angeles, then there's no future for me. So this, and now it's also giving people more control.
Yes, it is. And that's also the thing, is that you can now like shoot your own stuff on your iPhone or Samsung, whatever.
Amazing.
The phones today are so good. And then you can put it online and you're being seen. The actors before, they didn't have that possibility. There was no way. It was only the audition room, and that was it. And we don't have that today. We can create ourselves, put it out there, and be seen like that. And it's interesting because even as I said, Lucy Lennox, she said yesterday, she's like, don't send me some scenes you've been filming from other movies that some famous actor has done, or like, I don't need to see hundreds showreels it's not but she was like, a short film? That'll be interesting to see. Amazing. So she even said it herself. Like, she said that would be something that I would go to, okay, let's take a look at that. That could be something new, something fun, something interesting. Because there you're putting your art and your work out there.
Yeah. But doesn't it also then give actors a possibility to create their own work? Because if you can start thinking also short film, well, storytelling, and that's what it's about.
Yes. And that's what I'm saying. Today, it's so much easier. Like, they have shot films on phones that have been Oscar nominated. Like,
really?
The thing is that it's just these films, the quality is so good. And if you do it in a certain way, like, you find your own thing. Like, don't repeat what somebody else did, obviously, but just find your thing. Or even that, we always borrow from each other. That's life. Like, we're not, some things are kind of like not being, I don't know how to say it. Like, it's just being shown in a different light. And that's why it's so beautiful to learn from the masters before. That's so beautiful to watch all these movies. Or if you're a theater actor, see all these plays or read all the, read all the plays. It's just that to learn from those that came before, it's always a good thing. Because out of that, you will find your own. Then you will be like, wait a minute, I have an idea. I know what I want to show. I know what I want to do. So yeah, no, it is. It's a.
Yeah, and you also talking about teamwork, about support from each other, and I think these collaborations then also you learn from each other by doing that.
Yes. I am now working with an amazing team. We're working on a film, and we're in the pre-production, and it's the 5 of us, and we meet every Sunday. It's been now online. We work like for 2-3 hours, and it's just so much fun and beauty, and we're so looking forward to, like, every step that we take is like a celebration. We're like, we're this far now. We're this far now. And that's amazing. So yes, that's also I did before. So the one we're now working on it's A Wonderful Day, or Winter Magic is the name now, but that could change. And there we have, like, we're different, coming from different backgrounds, and that makes it even more interesting, the way we work. I had the same with my colleague, Evelyne Tollman. We did Hot Mess, and we shot it she wrote it and directed, and we produced it together, and she was the leading actress in it. And it was her story. She's, by the way, also South African.
Oh,
originally.
really? Oh,
Evelyne
wow.
Tollman. And she's now in Vienna. And we did that too. She's like, I've been pregnant for so long with this. And I'm like, do it. Let's
I have to
go.
talk to her too.
Yes, you definitely have to talk to her. I will
Yeah.
connect you to, yeah. Yeah. And also Brigitte Botzkai, the one that opened up this group with the Winter Magic, the film that we're now. I would love to connect the two of you too. Because
Amazing. I would,
she's in
yeah, this would
Budapest,
be. Mhm.
and she's an amazing force of energy, and just also very, very talented actress, and has done another short film. So very, very, I have a lot of beautiful people around me. I also have other one. I'm sorry, I have to do this now because I love connecting people.
Yeah, no, that's right. But it's also inspiring for people listening, you know, to see how people get together and how you all support each other. So that you keep saying you're not alone in this. There are people to support you.
Yes, yes, they are. And I was just, that's why we couldn't talk before. I was in Beijing with an artist. She's a painter, an Icelandic and Austrian woman. She's almost 70. And before she was a scientist working on cancer research and very interesting woman. I would love to introduce you to too. And she had now her first solo exhibition in Beijing.
Wow.
And I was there
Wow.
supporting her. I connected the two. The owner, Janice or Lokvukan, she's also a director, producer. She's the one that I acted in my first leading role with, was in her film. And I connected those two. And it's this beauty of like, just give support and be there for each other. And that's how you know, stay healthy. How to put that? Stay in like in this
and be
industry.
creative and you know, I think it's these when people come together in such a creative environment, then you also bring out the best in each other.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. So
but now you work in
amazing
this film, but you were the first film or the film that I read about that you did, it was Angels Don't Cry.
Angels Never Cry. Angels
Never Cry. Yeah.
Yes, that was the one where I dared to go in LA, and I went to auditions, and I met there Lok Woo Kwan. She's from Hong Kong. We call her Janice. She's the one that owns the gallery also now.
Oh,
She's
okay.
a very, very active young woman. And we ended up shooting it in Iceland, in my home country.
Really?
Yes. And I ended up producing it. That wasn't the plan, but the producer she had, there's something, she fell off the wagon, whatever, and I took over. So I produced it with her, and that was an amazing experience.
I can imagine. Yeah,
it was
being
really,
part
really,
of it full on, because you acting in it and producing it then as well.
Yes, that was amazing, and also hard and tough, but it was just so beautiful because we were all, everyone, the crew, the cast, we were just all one, and we all had this goal. We knew what we wanted, so everyone just, I don't know, like dove in there, and there was nobody that did less or more. It was kind of like really teamwork, and that was beautiful. And that was a lot of fun, that one. And yeah, and then we did another film, and that one we did in Lungau in Austria. And it's The Dark of the Lake, and Veronica Ferres.
Oh, I read about that, yeah.
She was one of the leads. Amazing working with her. That's also beautiful, seeing someone like Veronica Ferres, highly professional, such a big heart. And she came always with this amazing, prepared, with this amazing energy, lifting others, just making sure also that it's teamwork and then everything works out. That was beautiful. So that was also, that's the thing, learning from those that are just further than you, and lifting each other up together. So very much shout out to Veronica Ferres for just the way she is, and isn't afraid of giving more and just going like, okay, I will give 100%. She does that. She gives 100% for every project. If she's in a project, she will give 100%. And that's something I'm like, yep, I've done that before. And I'm like, I'm going to continue doing that. I think that's beautiful.
Well, I first of all want to say girl power to its
Yeah.
fullest here. And I can just imagine that you, since the first film that you produced and acted in as well, that is sort of, that gives you that, I don't know how to say, but I can just imagine that it gives you that power almost to go to the next project and think, okay, well, this is what I achieved now, and so now I'm getting on the next step.
Yes, I would have thought so too.
Oh, okay.
But what happened is,
Yeah.
is my, the inner critic, the popped up hugely after I had
I
shot
can't
the
believe it.
film. Yes, that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's like constant work. It's been constant work. And I have to be very honest. I don't want to tell like, it was like,
I'm glad you're so honest, because it's
yes.
so important to hear this. Yeah.
So I get this role. I have this amazing director. She stands like 100% behind me. We do this. We're able to do this. We're able to get the film out there. We're able to, like, we were in Italy at Salento, I think is the festival we were at, and we opened it, and we went there, and there's all this beauty around it, and then this fear kicked in.
Really?
This thing of like, I'm just not, like, I'm not gonna market it. I was at that point, I was like, this is what, 6 years ago? I was like, okay, marketing is yucky. It's I don't like it. Stuff like that. Where I'm like, no, it isn't. It's not true. You need it for people to know that you're there, for them to be able to enjoy your art, and or for you to be able to transport them into another world. You need it. But at that point, I didn't have that. I still had this huge fear and this feeling of like, I'm not good enough. And if I look at the film, obviously I'm a totally different actress now. I would have done it now totally different. Am I better today? Yes, definitely I am. But you have to start. And it was a good film. It was, we did something amazing there. But yes, no, the fear kicked in. I went into my shell. I was like, okay, I'm just going to hide, which is so interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. And then the thing is, when you have this bug, somebody calls it, some people call it, but when you have this, there's this light inside of this art vein, this where you cannot shut it down. I can't. And it doesn't matter how much it hurts. It doesn't matter how embarrassing it was for me. It doesn't matter how the imposter syndrome, how big it was, whatever. It always starts then getting bigger and bigger. And it's like, okay, stand up again, girl. And let's start again. And that's interestingly what happened. I would have loved to say like, yes, and I did.
I really thought to myself, hey, if you've done that, then the next is much easier to do. But it's like baking bread, I think the first bread is always the worst, but at the time you think it's okay. But now if you think, if you bake bread for a long time and you look back at your first loaf, you think, really? Did I give that to people to eat? Which is not that I'm saying that you're
no. But that's also interesting. The interesting thing was, sorry that I'm interrupting, but the funny thing was that then looking back and looking at stuff, I'm like, there are so many good things in that film.
Yeah.
I just judged it because I was afraid. Like afterwards, I just like, but then I look at it and there's so many good moments, and in acting, it's just what it is. You can have, like, you will have moments where you're just flying, and you will have moments where you're just not connecting, and you're just like, hi. And after listening to a lot of A-lister actors and stuff, I'm like, okay, this is normal. Like, that's why it's so good to listen to that. That's why it's so good to listen to their interviews and go like, how is it for them? And it's just, it sometimes just doesn't. But later on, like now, where I am able more and more and more to stand in my power, which I think is so cool. And it's so
but
nice.
I see that in my photographs as well, because I've been delving into my portfolio and taking out some photographs that I actually rejected at the time, that I didn't use, and now going back and thinking, hey, why did I reject this one? Because it's actually a nice one, you know. So
Yeah.
it's sometimes you have to step away from it for a little bit and then go back and have a look.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
And
I'm
then
so happy that you're so honest about this, because really it's so great, because I think this is so important, that it's not, I think acting and actors and the whole industry, it looks as if everything is just so smooth sailing. And I think sometimes you see actors and you think, oh, well, it just happened for them. But it's not true. And in every industry and in every artist's life, there comes these obstacles. And I think that's also so important, because that is the evolution part and the growth part and the introspection and all this that needed to be there to be able to go to the next level.
yes, yes. And something interesting I heard the other day was also we need to experience life to give the characters a full life, to be able to play different characters. Would I sometimes want to skip some experiences and go like,
Yeah.
I need to be kicked in the face by a horse and break my nose? No.
Yeah.
Like, that was not really, or like this immense fear, having this immense fear that like, I finally, like, I go to LA, I dare to go to these auditions, I book a short film. On the short film shoot, I meet this amazing director. I get the leading role and the supporting. I played both women in that film. We then shoot it even in my home country in Iceland. Like, that is like the jackpot.
Yeah.
And then I do nothing with it because I'm scared and I'm afraid. And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, I'm just gonna put my hand, I like my head in the sand. I'm just gonna, I would have thought if somebody else would tell me this, I would have thought, as you, I would have thought like, oh, and then they were flying.
Yeah.
It was not flying. It was like, whoop, crash. But that's kind of what it is sometimes. It's like this up and down, up and down. And there is just, as I said, there's this love inside of you. There's this, this intuition, this tiny voice that just goes like, keep on going. It's very soft, but it's just like, keep on going. It's okay. I'm thankful.
Well, Eva, I tell you, I didn't see the film, but I saw the trailer of the film. I cannot imagine that you can feel that way, because the acting is absolutely outstanding in that film.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
But now, tell me, so we were talking about this film. So you're still working on this film, the next film that's coming up,
So yes, so now so as I said, now there's a new one that we started working on, but that is really pre-production. We're just writing first draft and starting, and we want to shoot it in Budapest and Florence. And it's a very international crowd. And so that's very exciting. That's what's now the next project. As also, obviously, you work on multiple projects. It's just, that's the healthiest way to go, I think, for me. Just for me, I need it. First, I was just gonna do one thing. I was like, I'm just gonna audition. But I'm so multifaceted. I need it. I love the coaching aspect. I love supporting other actors and doing that. I don't do a lot of it, but I love it. Like if it's a good fit for both, then I love doing it, and that's how I want it always to be. I love also the production, like having, like we're doing now, the producing. and writing together and, creating this beautiful art piece that we want to create together. I'm looking forward to that, and we're in that now. And then also, for example, I assisted Elinborg, like with her social media stuff in Beijing, and I got them two together. And then she said, "Do you want to come with me?" And I was like, "Okay." So I flew with them, and I just assisted her with that. And the next two is that I am wearing a friend of mine. He's a designer. This is from him, Bugaric. He is in
Oh, yeah.
Vienna.
Oh, okay.
And the whole
We have to
outfit.
put we have to put the link in the description of his
Yes, and Bugaric, and he's amazingly talented designer. And I love collaborating with him. So I will wear this. There's the whole outfit you don't see here, but I will wear it at the Berlinale where I'm going now.
Okay.
And we are also now, I'm working on that I will organize with, I have to say, the Austrian Culture Forum in South Africa and the Austrian Embassy, that we will organize a fashion show for Bugaric there.
Oh, wow.
So like there's these things that are just, I love everything around art, and so that's kind of what's happening now.
You're a
Things,
busy
and
girl.
obviously audition. So
you're a busy girl.
I'm now in a beautiful way, but not much. Like it's not. I don't want that. I need to have. Like I need space too.
But you see, you see the possibilities, and and that's wonderful. You know that you, and that you are open for these collaborations.
Yes, I love I love supporting others and lifting others up, and with amazingly talented people, it's just not hard. It's like when you have all these beautiful souls and they're so talented, and there's so many. I have to say that I'm a lot international, but also in Vienna, there's so many talented people in Vienna, so many talented actresses, artists. You don't say actresses anymore. They're kind of like skipping that, but I don't know. I like it. I still like that word. So I'm gonna use it.
Me too. But
I like both.
Can actors now or actresses contact you, or if they want a session with you, or
yes.
Okay, so
I definitely can do that, and I I won't fill my schedule with it, but yes, I'm totally open, and everyone, if they want this package of support, as in, I will nudge you a little bit towards like even like starting with this sexy, fun marketing, and that's a part of the whole thing. That is from the beginning on just a part of it, because I don't want them to be like me. I don't want them to go through this like, oh, marketing isn't good, and you shouldn't show it. That's not, and then you're hiding. And they're like, no, you could have been working at that time. You could have been out there. So I really, it's starting to be a very important thing for me, is just to support other actors that way, in the way of like, embrace the whole business of it. Like that, all of that can be fun and doesn't have to be too much, because sometimes if you look at the whole package, you're just like, okay, I have to be an amazing actor. I have to be an amazing marketer. I have to be, it's like, oh my God.
And a businesswoman, everything.
And a business but it doesn't have to be so big. It doesn't have to be so complicated. It can be done with few easy steps. And which it's just, like it's training like everything else.
Yeah.
Getting used to it's a habit. And I'm working on that myself too. I'm also on that journey, like making it a habit. So,
well, you're inspiring me now, because I've got these 500 photographs of the artists in their windows, and I have to get that into an exhibition. And so you're inspiring me now. I have to get going with that, really.
Yes, please, and I will come.
Oh no, definitely.
I will come.
Everybody that I talk to, everybody that's been on the project keep asking me, when is the exhibition? But I have to do it the right way and get out there, get those pictures out there. They're beautiful.
Yes.
But now tell me, what what are still the wishes for you for the future?
My wishes, what I would love very much. I would love to be a part of Amazon and Netflix series. Like to have yeah, that's what I would love to do. That's the next step for me, is to get into those productions, be seen, and be one of the leading roles. And the thing with me, I love a lot of things, but I do like science fiction a lot and
really?
fantasy. So yeah.
So it has to be a science fiction.
No.
Fiction
I'm
movie.
very good at thrillers too, as you've seen.
Oh, I saw.
I'm very good at that. So no, not at all. But I'm a little bit of a nerd when it comes to that. I kind of love those worlds.
Yeah.
So that will be a lot of fun. But also, for me, what's more important is the team.
Oh,
Like, who is working on it? Who are we as a team? And that's what I like a lot. If you're able, and I don't know, I have encountered maybe 2 or 3 people that I'm like, I do not want to work with them again. But that was it. Mostly creatives just are so full of love that they just want to create. Doesn't mean they can't be grumpy, doesn't mean they don't have a bad day. I'm not talking about that.
Yeah.
But mostly it is this common, like this love for art, this love for the cinema. Like I love movies and series and cinema and all that. So yeah.
But Eva, I think it's also your energy, because you attract these people, the lovely people, because of who you are as well, because you give out this energy of collaborating and helping and supporting other people. So of course you'll attract those people to you as well. I believe that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But it was so great talking to you. I can't believe we're both in Vienna, and we have to have a coffee one day.
Yes, and I mean, I'm just gonna paint the picture here.
Yeah.
I would love to have coffee with you. Well, I only drink hot water. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit different.
Oh, okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'll drink coffee for the both of us.
Drink hot water with you at your solo exhibition.
Yeah.
In Vienna.
Eva, it's said here, and the wish is out. I'm going to do it.
Yes, and I will come.
Yeah, that would be great. But get me in contact, please, with your colleagues.
Yes.
So that we can show also all the wonderful talent that's here in Vienna and in Budapest.
Yeah, that's Birgitta Botzke. I would love to connect you with her. She's amazing. And also Evelyne Tollman, South African in Vienna. Director, producer, writer, actress / everything. Very talented one. So
I think it's great to show also, and for younger actors and actresses who get inspired by these stories. I think that is so important.
Yes. Yeah. No. Thank you so much. Thank you for reaching out.
It's a great pleasure. And we still have to make a quick cut, and I want to see your mom's artwork.
Oh, yes. Let's do the cut thing.
Yeah. Oh, that is
so big. I have to go
gorgeous.
back. It's a big one.
Oh, that is beautiful. But that is so fantasy-like, isn't it? Oh, yeah. I love it.
And she does all kinds, and they are so gorgeous. They're so much fun. And just looking at them, it's just like, and this is a comic. This is from I don't even know which one this is. This is like a Superwoman or something. I don't know which one. And I wanted something like that, so I'll show you.
Yeah.
You see her?
Yeah. That is amazing.
Yes. And
it's almost like a book, you know, like you have to look at the
yes,
whole piece. Yeah. The
yes, it is.
story.
And I asked her for that. When did she did this a few years ago for me because exactly I was like, I need to look at it and go like and feel this,
Yeah.
this power and this like
Yeah.
you can do it.
Mm.
Stand up. Like you have it in you.
Yeah.
And this every time I look at it inspires me because it's like fun and crazy and different.
Yeah. And that the long neck of, like reaching out of standing tall.
Yes.
Amazing. Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely
That's mommy,
amazing.
my
Yeah.
talented mother.
Oh, you see, uh it's the creatives in the family.
Yes, yes. And my grandpa, he's 30, 90, he's 30. He's
Yeah.
93 and he paints and he also takes beautiful pictures. He's
Really. Mm,
that's also very, very talented. So yeah,
mm.
lucky there.
Eva, it was so great to talk to you, and all the best with all your great work. And I'm going to put all the links in the description. So if people want to contact you as well, and I'm so
Yes.
looking forward to to still following you and seeing everything you get up to.
Thank you so
You're a
much.
great
Very,
inspiration,
very,
really.
very much looking forward to your solo exhibition.
Oh, you'll be there, definitely.
I will. Thank you.
Okay, Eva, have a nice day. Thank you. Bye.